Everything you're about to hear is for entertainment purposes only. The upcoming conversations are nothing more than the ridiculous opinions of a dropout and a guy dumb enough to be friends with him. Listen, have some fun, but don't ever do, believe, or promote anything they say. They're idiots.
Guys, hold up. You should know, this ain't for everybody. Welcome to Savagely Loud. What's happening, people? Welcome to the show. I don't know if you've been here for a while, but we had a run of this about a year and a half, 2 years ago. Things got in the way, and now we're back, and I do mean we're. I was by myself to begin with, but now I've stumbled my way into a co-host. So let's get into it. Mikey, how the hell are you?
I am doing good, man. How about yourself? It's beautiful Monday, beautiful start of the week.
Got zero complaints. I always got zero complaints. I mean, you could always complain, but fucking why? Well, I'm glad that you're back. You're with me on the show here, and for everybody watching, everybody listening, we may be audio only for a little while. We may be video. I don't know. I'm kind of stupid when it comes to all this stuff, and by kind of, I mean a lot. So there may be some technical difficulties, so bear with us. This is our first episode back. Guys, let me please start out by saying all my thank yous. I owe a lot of people a debt of gratitude. I want to start out with my wife because I got back into this. She knows how much time it takes. She knows how much effort I have to put into it. And she knows what it's going to do for a lot of other people. She knows it's my duty. So I really appreciate her allowing me, affording me the extra time away from the household duties to get this done. I'd like to thank my boss because, he's been really cool with me and freeing up a day so I can get these recordings done now and move into this next phase of my life. And last but not least, I really do want to thank Dominic Izzo because he was the one that lit my fire. He's the one that got me back wanting to be behind the microphone. So to you, man, thank you so much. And I will be on his show every single Monday now until he gets tired of me. So make sure you check out the Rants of Izzo show on Mondays. It's a live show, and you'll see us both and some other people. Then from there, watch it every day because it gets fucking wild over there. So to do a quick little introduction for us all, myself, I'm a high school dropout. I'm going to be honest with you right out of the gate. I'm a high school dropout. I was a drug addict. I was real deep into cocaine and some pills. I got into the white gangs. I was into hate. I've pretty much lived every shred of hell that you could imagine, and I've taken notes on my way through it so that I can help somebody else start living a little bit earlier than I did, because I didn't get to start living till I was half dead, and that's just no way to go about life. So I want to help somebody else do the same, and I kind of think that's where you're at too, Mikey, aren't you?
I am very much like that. First off, I want to thank my wife. Always there for me, always supporting me, always has my back. I know that there's nothing that I could do that she would not support me in. Always there for me, like I said, and my family. And, they got my back too. They're always there. You brought me onto this show. We've been friends for 20 something years now.
We lived together in 2005. I mean, that was the first year of my daughter's life. We lived together.
Yep. Oh yeah. I won't forget that, man. I am her godfather. Whether or not you want it to still be there, I don't give a fuck. It is what it is.
It is.
We lost touch for a few years, but here we are, kind of from day one, gelled right back like it was never a break, like it was just fucking an hour ago.
But that's how friendship works. That's how true bonds work, is you can revisit after years like we did. You can just fall right back into the same old patterns, assuming those patterns were positive. Then everything is golden from there. It's when you don't, like, when you kind of fall back together and then you're different people, or you've outgrown one or the other, that's when it starts getting kind of heavy to deal with. And
yep.
so, guys, we do the little segment. We like to start out the show with a little segment called Daily Drag. And it's just one of those little fucking dumb things that happens throughout your day or your life that you get really hyper mad at the moment, but it's kind of, it ends up being okay. And then you laugh about it. Things like, stubbing your toe on the same thing over and over again, or putting your coffee cup on the roof of your car and driving away, something like this. And Mikey's going to take us into this daily drag. So let's have it.
Yep. So I'm going to use you as an example for this one.
Great. I love being made examples of. At least you're not a cop.
I got myself at
least you're not a cop or a judge.
It's a positive example. So this happens to everyone. It happens more so when you get older in life. But it's one of those things that pisses you off in the moment, but immediately after you're laughing about it because it's like, oh God. So Sunday we went frothing. You lost your gloves. We went back a hole. We traipsed around that fucking hole looking for your gloves, and they were in your hoodie, but they were in your backup hoodie. And I remember you saying, I put these there so I wouldn't forget them and wouldn't lose them. And then we lost them.
We sure did. I did anyway. I mean, I don't know about we, but I'd like to spread a little bit of that blame your way. That's all good with me. Yeah. And real quick to interject, because I catch a lot of shit from the disc golfers when I say froth. Guys, we've been doing this shit for 30 years. It really was froth back in the day. And we just got into saying that froth. I know it's not froth. I know it technically is disc golf, but if you really want to sound like a fucking douche, I think disc golf actually sounds worse than froth. So it is what it is. Bear with us, guys. If you don't like it and it's really that bad of a problem, change the fucking channel.
It's froth, dude. Go fuck yourself. It's froth.
It's way.
I love saying froth, anyways, man. It's such
you can't take this that seriously. Come on, no.
It's fucking disc golf. If you're taking that seriously, you need to. Yeah. You're either getting paid for it, or you need to evaluate some shit.
Yeah, you really
in
need
life.
to take a step back, take a breath, and evaluate what you're really diving into. Because I bet you will find it's a waste of fucking time. But guys, so the whole point of the show here is to embrace reality, okay? So this show stems from my own content, my personal development content, and it's just blossomed from there. I'm all about embracing reality, okay? So everybody will tell you, any personal development guru or coach or mentor or whatever is going to tell you, they have a certain subsect of little things that they do that make people better. And none of them ever include embracing all of reality. There is a couple of guys, I think 3 I can name, that actually talk about all of the realities that you have to embrace in order to better yourself. Most people are like, oh, you just got to embrace the reality that you're a lazy piece of shit. You got to embrace the reality that you're fucking up your entire life by blah, 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 or this and that. They don't talk about the realities of the world and the weight that can put on you. And that's incredibly important. If you really, truly do want to thrive and strive in this world to get somewhere, you're going to have to learn how to embrace all of the realities, because when it boils down to it, you have to think about this. If you're unwilling to deal with the reality outside of you in the world, let's say foreign war, if you're unwilling to deal with that reality, if you're going to run from that reality, what realities are in you that you're actually running from that are causing your life to not flourish like you want it to be? So we get into the things. We embrace all aspects of reality. Sometimes some of these episodes we're going to have, we've already got, I think, 30 something guests that are totally willing to be on. It's fucking incredible. We got 30 something guests that are already being on, and they've got crazy stories. These are not your fucking buddy from down the street that's just on a show because you grew up with them. No, these motherfuckers have incredible stories. They do incredible shit, and I cannot wait to bring these people to you, shed the light on these people and their stories, and motivate other people and inspire other people to do some of the same shit they've done. And we've got guests from all walks of life. We've got people from Germany, and we've got people from Canada, we've got professors, and we've got therapists, and we've got entrepreneurs, we've got business tycoons, we've got all sorts of motherfuckers coming your way. But in the end, it really is just about that. It's about the ability to accept all of the realities and use that to change your life. Now,
accept different realities.
Yeah, well,
that
exactly.
You may not have even known about. We're gonna learn some shit on this show from people and have architects on and shit like that, to where it's like I never would have thought about architecture. We're gonna learn so much more about what goes into some of that stuff, that you're going to learn more realities, more point of views.
Yeah. There's a lot of realities in this world that we have to deal with every single day. It isn't just, my world doesn't consist of getting up in the morning and then dealing with my reality. My reality actually has so many other realities inside it that I have to deal with. I have to deal with the assholes on the road. I have to deal with my boss. I have to deal with my coworkers. I have to deal with the people at the gas station. I have to deal with all of these different realities, all of these different people, all of these different relationships, all of these different situations and scenarios that can put weight on me throughout the day, that we have to be able to embrace the reality of. Because once we embrace the reality of it, it really does take all the effort out of it. It makes it kind of seamless. It makes it easy almost to just kind of coast through the bullshit and just dip, dive, and dodge and shit. I'll get that shit out of the way.
You learn which...
Go for it.
You'll learn which realities impact your life, and you have no choice but to let it impact your life. And you learn realities that may or may not have any impact on your life if you choose to let it, i.e. the assholes at the gas station. They impact your life, but if you choose and you accept, like, all right, that's an asshole, whatever, he can go fuck himself, and that's the end of it, that reality to me means nothing at the end of the day.
Yeah, it really doesn't. And because people let it affect them. And typically the people that will let people like that, the asshole at the gas station, on the road, somebody cussed you out, the people that will let that stay with them all day are typically ones that have a lot of fucking issues that they themselves are running from. And something in that interaction forced them to notice it, forced them to think about it. It forced whatever that issue is that's affecting them to bubble up from under the carpet they swept it under. And they don't like that. And that's why it'll sit with them. So that, again, it goes right back to, if you can learn how to embrace reality, your reality improves.
Yep. 1,000% it will.
Let me ask you, Mikey. Okay, throughout the course of your life, now we had different upbringings, we had different, lives, and we do now even somewhat. They somewhat parallel each other, I guess. Now, as you get it, I think once you get to a certain age, everybody's life kind of parallels one another. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, it's just the way it goes. In your life, is there one particular reality, one particular anything in your life that you later on found out that once you dove into that, you found out that was the moment you found out you were running from it? And once you figured out that you're running from it, that it actually made your life better, because you had this, you became overcome with emotion, and you actually were able to go through that process of letting it go. Is there something that sticks out in your brain?
Yes. I talk to my kids a lot when they're having rough moments in life. Everybody has a rough moment in life. And by moments, I'm talking about a period in time where, you're just treading water. Maybe it's a week, maybe it's a month, maybe it's a year, whatever. And I go back to is when we were living together. I was working at Granger in the warehouse, and my life was just fucking angry. I was just fucking angry. Shit at my job that in the end of the day, it is what it is. Like, this is my job. I have no choice in the matter. It is what it is. The guy I was working with got fired. Looking back, yeah, he fucking deserved it. Motherfucker was never on time. He'd always show up half in the bag because of the night before. Like, all right, guy, he fucking deserved it. But at the time, it was like, fuck, now I'm doing this shit by myself. And my boss at the time was being a total bitch, in my opinion, at that time. looking back, yeah, she was a bitch, but that was a lot of me reacting to what she wanted me to do. And like, I was just fucking angry. Like, I was on the verge of getting fired. Like, I was on the verge of getting fired because of my fucking attitude. And, everything fell on me at the warehouse. And because of that, I didn't embrace that reality. I didn't take advantage of that opportunity. I didn't look at it like, I just looked at it as like, fuck, this bitch is fucking me over. And then she hired this old man, and this motherfucker was old as shit. He was like slow walking, and I'm just like, dude, I just need to get the fuck. And like one day he sat me down, like he legit fucking sat me down, and he's like, dude, he didn't say anything else. He just said, each day is what you make it. And at the time, I was just like, go fuck yourself. Like, this day fucking sucks. Tomorrow's going to suck because I got to be here. So go fuck yourself. And like, it took a while for that to sink in. And even when it started to sink in, the reality of that, the depth of that saying didn't sink in until years later, where it was like, wow, I mean, each day literally is what I make it. If I want it to be a shitty day, it's goddamn going to be a shitty fucking day. There is not anything that's going to go right.
And it's going to be fucking shitty for everybody.
Yep. Everybody that I touch is going to have a fucking bad day. And I don't give a fuck if you did or not, because I'm having a bad day. So fuck you. You're joining me with it. And, but it's one of those like, all right, it's very hard as things start weighing on you. And as, things go on in your life, and it's just like, it gets heavy, the weight on your shoulders, you really start to feel that. But if you kind of give yourself a moment to breathe and say, okay, here's where we're at. I'm just going to accept this. I'm going to deal with it head on, and I'm going to fucking crush this shit. And days in life just gets happier. And if you go in with that, I'm going to do it attitude, you're going to fucking do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It is what it is. I mean, that's, I point back to that moment so much in my life, because it was just, that was something that stuck with me from that day on. It stuck with me. And once I kind of started saying, yeah, okay, my life started changing. My attitude at work started changing. My boss was like, hey, listen, I was about to fire you. I was talking with HR. Like, we were laying the groundwork for it. Like, that's why I knew I was getting fired. Like, she told me, like, hey, you were literally like a week from being fired. And then she was like, but you know what? Like, just little things she wanted me to do was like, she wanted me to go say hi to her in the morning. Like, that's not a big ask. No. But at that point in time, it was just like, fuck you. You know where I'm at. I'm in the fucking back working my ass off. You come say hi to me, bitch. Right. But then it just changed.
That one's a weird one, okay? Because when somebody wants you to come say hi to them, like, for me, it's weirdly off-putting. I understand that it's a great team building exercise. It's a great rapport builder. It's a great way to know your coworkers. I understand this, but it still seems fucking weird to me when an adult walks up to me and goes, "You didn't say hi to me." Like,
and that was my boss. Yeah. And that was my boss. Like, you didn't come say hi to me. It was like, I mean, of course it was a she. I couldn't see a guy saying, you didn't say hi to me. What the fuck is wrong with you? He'd be like, oh, I didn't know you were here.
I haven't seen you for 3 weeks, so.
Hey, let's go to lunch. Like, it's just one of those little things that, it's like, okay, fine. I'll play the game for a minute. Like, it's no skin off my back. And I got to bullshit with her for a few minutes too. Like, it made me happier. Just that weight of that dread and everything, it was off. Such a better feeling.
Yeah. So the reality of the simplicity, this is what I'm going to pull from it. Okay. and correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like you've pulled the reality of simplicity out of this whole shenanigan that happened, this whole chain of events that happened. And all it took was one old dude to give you one line, is very simply. And it etched itself in your fucking brain to a point where you just couldn't let it go. Like you knew, subconsciously or unconsciously, you knew something about that was going to rescue you from something, but your pride and your current ego and your anger and your resentment level just wanted to shut it down. So you had to get through that to just to get to the simple shit. Am I kind of hitting here?
Oh, 1,000%. It allowed me to alter my perception of reality and what I have control and what I don't have control of.
Well, and that's incredibly powerful. And that's a great message, because that's most of what I try to tell people is none of this shit is as hard as people make it out to be. You have to understand, when you hit Instagram, when you hit Facebook, when you hit TikTok or fucking YouTube or whatever, you see these influencers telling you everything is super fucking difficult. They're trying to sell you something. They're trying to sell you the secret that they have for you for $997 fucking dollars, so that you can become what they can. The secret is, there's no fucking secret. The secret is, if you buy their program, you're probably fucking stupid, and you're probably fucking too lazy. You're probably unmotivated, and you probably just need to pull your head out of your ass and get off the fucking couch, get out of the games, get out of your phone, get out of something and into something else that's more productive, and your whole life will shift.
Yeah, it's as simple as that, but it's as hard as that is. It is a total mind shift that you have to do consciously, and just trying to change that will infinitely change 1,000 other things in your life.
And what you said right there, I want to stop you right there, because you said something that's gold and most people will miss it. You said, once you try to change it, this doesn't mean that you're never going to be fixed until it's changed. This doesn't mean that life can't be happy until your perspective and your mindset is unfucked. Just the simple act of trying, of attempting, of getting on that pathway to becoming something more than you are and better than you were will change every fucking perception you have of everything in your life. And it's just the willingness to try to do something better, to try to move that needle one fucking degree a day.
Yep. And you know what? Biggest advice I can give on that note too is, when you start trying, tell people. And not saying tell the world. Like nobody gives a fuck if you're changing or not out in the universe.
Right.
Don't go blast it on Instagram. Nobody gives a fuck there. But like, tell your closest friend. Your one closest friend, tell your wife, tell your partner, like, hey, I'm trying to like be happier. Because a lot of times what happens too is people lose sight of those little growths that you go through. They're too focused on, well, I still feel this way. And it's just like, yes, but listen, like, you have done so much more this week than you did the previous weeks. Like, if you can see those little, markers. Challenges. Yes, markers, challenges, whatever. Just something that is like a resemblance of that change. You may not notice it because you're too busy looking through the tree in the forest and not seeing the forest at all. And other people will notice that too. For example, my wife is, she has anxiety and it's pretty bad. It's not good. And, big projects for her stress her out and, just stress her to death. And she's got a massive baby shower coming up. It's insane. So that's a topic for another day.
Oh my God. Don't tell me she's fucking pregnant. No, don't do this.
Oh God,
no. Don't do this to us.
No. Dude, I snip, man. I'm good.
Oh, perfect.
But she's throwing a baby shower for her cousin, and they're awesome people, but it's normally something that would stress her out to death. And she would have, it would stress her out. She'd probably cry every day, whatever. But this is stressing her out, but it's a different stress out. Like she like the moments of her anxiety and her stress, it's minutes versus hours versus the entire day. And so I remind her of that all the time. Like, look, yeah, it's gonna suck because it's a lot, but like look at you now though. Like look what you did and look how you are in this point in time. And it's nuts. So like having that support system with you is huge.
Well, it comes back to like, I don't know if I think it's just a human thing. I think it's ingrained into us now to just believe that if we're broken, we should appear fixed. Like we should just one day just be fixed. We should just wake up and we should be fixed. And then if any sadness or any irritation or any annoyance or any fucking anything that comes into our life or our mind or our heart or our spirit that isn't positive that day, we haven't made any progress. We've lost the notion. We've lost the sight of the fact that life is supposed to suck. Some of it is supposed to suck so that you can appreciate the part that is good. And some of it is supposed to be very good so that you can appreciate the lessons you pull from the shit that sucks. Now, when you're like in a situation like your wife is in, the progress being made is fucking immense because anxieties are like a little silent little devil. Like sometimes it fucks with you and sometimes you're like, it should be fucking with me. And it's really not fucking with me right now. I don't know how to do this. And so it makes it hard to deal with. But once you start making progress, I think your mind will shift and maybe, and you know, sometimes it takes external people to kind of show you this, but your mind shifts into seeing that anxiety as a blessing. So like growing up, like I'd get fucking nervous as shit, anxious as shit. Cause every time I walked into my house, there was a real risk of getting my ass whooped, like big time, like fucking thrown to the ground and beaten the shit out of. So I would walk in with this anxiety and I kind of started looking at it more as a blessing because if I was this anxious, first and foremost, that means I haven't gone cold. I haven't lost the ability to feel because you can't feel positive if you only feel negative. And you can't only feel negative if you don't feel positive. You either feel or you don't. And when you don't feel, that's the most dangerous part. That's where you get the sociopaths. That's where you get the murders. That's where you get the suicides. So I took it as a marker of number one, I can still feel. So that's good. I'm not quite completely fucking beaten down yet. And secondarily to that, I looked at it as a blessing because it heightened all of my senses. I was way more aware of all the little idiosyncrasies and the little details having to do with everything I was doing because I had to be on this edge. Now, it wasn't comfortable to be on that edge, and I can only say that it was a good thing when I look back, you know, retrospect. Back then, the last fucking thing I wanted to do was walk into my house all fucking terrified all the time and suffer from that kind of anxiety, that kind of feeling of no matter where you are, you just kind of don't belong there kind of thing. You know, you don't belong doing this, you don't belong saying this, you don't belong thinking this, you don't belong in this place, you know? So
yeah, it's an uncomfortable feeling. I mean, reality is very hard at times. I mean, reality sucks at times. Like we're blessed here. Like, I mean, you know, you go to Israel or Gaza or anywhere out in the fucking Middle East or whatever like that. Like, dude, that fucking reality's gotta suck because it's just like, am I gonna fucking wake up tomorrow because my building exploded? Like, I mean, it's not a bad thing. It's kind of a beautiful thing looking back. Like that gives you something that gives you perspective in life. It's not like it doesn't have to be bad. But again, you know, I kind of sidetracked and derailed, but like reality sucks at times. It is what it is. Like it sucks.
The way I kind of see it, I've always had this thing because I've had to figure out ways to fool my mind into having a positive outlook through a lot of my life. And I've always had this thing that I came up with, and I say, sometimes life sucks. Sometimes life is awesome. But it's always a fucking amazing ride. Yep. And what that means is, you know, everybody loves the ride of life when it's going well. When you're on top, everybody loves the ride. It's when you're on bottom that everybody fucking hates life and everybody loses the hope and loses the perspective and loses the view of the future. It's the times at the bottom where you're really learning what the fuck you're made of. When you're crumbling at the bottom, you're not just falling apart. If you know how to register it, if you know how to perceive this into your brain, you're not falling apart. You're actually being built. And that's what part of what my book is that I'm writing is. It's called What Broke Me, Built Me. And it's this exact principle. As you're sniveling and blubbering and crying on the floor, you're coming together in ways you just don't understand in that moment. And you can't possibly understand them until you get years away from that. And then you look at your track record of those breakdowns and the frequency and how it became smaller and smaller and smaller. And each one became shorter and shorter and shorter until pretty soon they just weren't existent. And you've gotten to a point where you're just like, you know what? I think I forgot to hurt today. I think I forgot to be sad today. Because that's what that's what healing looks like. That's people think that it's like, oh, I'm all of a sudden I'm the guy that I always wanted to be. I'm the happy, fun-loving one that everybody loves, and it all happened overnight. It doesn't happen that way. You got to go through it to get to it. You want to be a tough motherfucker, you got to go through some tough shit. You want to be the fucking person that everybody is the go-to, that's the go-to for everybody. You have to live through the shit, and you've got to have the wherewithal to take the notes. You have to embrace that reality at all fucking times if you want to go anywhere or you want to bring anybody with you.
Yep. Healing is not a light switch. Healing is a fucking long and tenuous thing, but at the end of it, it's fucking life changing. There's a video out there, like, take a glass, pour some fucking grape juice into it, full, put it under the sink, run the sink, watch how long it takes for that to go clear. That's what healing is. It's good starting to mix in there. That grape juice starts doing a little bit less purple, a little bit more clear, and then it's clear. But it takes a while. There's a lot into it. When I am having a rough moment or I'm having a rough day, I always try to tell myself, for every dark day, there's a bright day afterwards. How long that dark day is?
2 of them.
Who
There's
knows?
Always 2.
Yep. Hell, that dark day could be a fucking month long. But every dark day that you come out of, it's going to be even brighter. And you're going to learn so much more about yourself and life and what's important to you.
Yeah. Well, that's a big thing is, everybody has these weird, they're implanted by other people. They're these weird fucking things that people think are important, and they're just fucking not. I made a video. So on my Instagram page, I do a personal development video every day, at least one. And one video I did not too long ago, it was about that. If you want to know what the fuck is important, talk to people that are dying. You will never, ever fucking hear a person on their deathbed saying, I really wish I would have made that extra dollar. I really wish I would have had that extra building. I really wish I would have been alone more often. I really wish I would have done something that would have gotten me away from my family more, the ones that I love more, my friends more. You're never going to fucking hear it. Why can't we just take the advice of fucking dying people because they know what the fuck is important? We get the blessing of seeing into their eyes in the last moments of life. And everybody, every single last one of them says the same shit. People are what's important. Happiness in the people around you is what truly matters. The money doesn't fucking matter. The cars don't fucking matter. The house don't fucking matter. None of this shit matters. And the only reason why it matters to you now is because you were told it was supposed to matter.
It's only gotten worse now with social media.
Absolutely.
It's gotten 1,000 times worse on social media, which makes that fucks up people's realities too. It's like, oh my God, why is her life so much fucking better than mine? And it's like, why? What the fuck makes you say that? Well, she's got a nice car. She's got a second house. They just went on vacation and look great. And it's just like, dude, they're fucking miserable. I promise you they're miserable. If that's what they have to show off of Facebook and talk about, that's their life, that, hey, I got a fucking summer home. I got a winter home. I got all this shit and that. And look at me. like you're fucking miserable. You are missing something very important in life.
Oh, yeah.
Like I would take fucking no possessions, but have the relationship I have with my wife any day of the week, any fucking day of the week. Challenge me on it.
right. Yeah, I mean, all of social media is a highlight reel, and it's getting to the point where I think people are actually starting to understand it, but it's still really hard because we're still inundated. Even if we have the understanding that it's fake, if we're bombarded with it 24 hours a day, we can't help but fucking lose a little bit of sight here and there. We start focusing on like, well, what the fuck? How the fuck did he get a new truck? I make more money. I work better. I work harder. I'm fucking this and that. But it's all fake. Like I know several people right now that are living completely fake lives on Instagram. Like one fucking person got a fucking windfall from winning a fucking lottery ticket, but told everybody that it was fucking some other shit that he, entrepreneurial shit, fucking sold a business, blah, blah, blah. I know another fucking family that is in absolute fucking shambles. They're living on dying daddy's credit cards and shit. So that's a finite resource. And pretty soon, once that motherfucker croaks, it's all going down the fucking drain. So you guys, you have to understand when you're watching social media, it's all a fucking highlight reel. Stop comparing yourself. I don't know who said it, but somebody said comparison is the thief of joy. And it was somebody really big. I should know this. I do know this. I just don't remember right now because we're getting through the first episode. A little nervous. I'm cold. I'm cold and I'm hot.
You don't know what the hell you're doing, man? What kind of fucking host are you?
I'm the kind of host that runs this shit alone, motherfucker. Like this is taking me some effort to try to learn how to work with a fucking co-host here. But yeah, so
it's just it's such a travesty because social media could be great, but the way it's being used now, it just fucks people over, and it makes their own reality and their own life just look awful.
Yeah, and that's why I try to do. Yeah, I'm doing a little video action here. Yeah, I like that. That's what I try to do with my social media is because you know what, everybody's using it for. It's either useless shit or dumb shit or bad shit. You either got the motherfuckers that are just they spend all their time bitching about shit that they're not making any effort to change, or you get the victims that are bitching about how they're being victimized by the world existing around them. Or you get the fucking people that they just want to fucking post pictures of their fucking salad. I think what we talked to the other day, it's like, I don't give a shit if that salad is the most mind-blowing fucking socks knocker offer salad on earth. Don't put it on the fucking internet because it's still a fucking salad. So I try to combat this bullshit with my social media and trying to use it for something important, something that will help somebody, something that will move somebody along and make them smile, make them think, do something other than, hey, this is what I ate for dinner and it was expensive. Aren't you jealous? Aren't you jealous that I was eating on the beach? Who gives a fuck if you're eating on the beach?
But they want a vacation.
Yeah, bitch. I made $2,800 while you were fucking dining on a beach. Go fuck yourself.
And sorry, that picture you posted on vacation dining on a beach was a fucking moment of time in a shitty fucking day. While you and the husband are arguing, right. Fucking sand's blowing all in your food.
Got the kids all smiling. They're all bruised up from getting their asses handed to them because they're not fucking acting right for mommy, the parental influencer.
Yep. It goes back to that reality. Like, that's not fucking real.
Yeah.
That's not fucking real.
There's so much out there that's just not real, and there's so much that is. And the shit that is what we're going to get into here. We're going to get into your life. We're going to get into unfucking your life and why I got fucked up in the beginning. And we're going to get into why it might be fucked and you think it's awesome. And once you realize it's fucked, it's going to be even better than you ever imagined. We're going to get into topics like the reality of yourself, the reality of others, your relationship with other people, your work, your health, your fitness, your governments, the war, sexuality, race, religion. There's nothing that we're not going to get into because it all has to do and pertains to the reality that does or does not fuck up or fuck with your own reality.
Yep.
So let's fucking
1,000%.
Let's wrap this shit up for the first one. I think we're doing pretty good. Guys, check out our social media. We just got the Savagely Loud podcast page on Instagram. Let me say that again. Savagely Loud Podcast page on Instagram. That just came up. We just put that up. You can follow me at Savagely Loud on Instagram. You can follow Mikey at Woldy2, and we're going to be working on his Instagram, getting that thing up, because he didn't give a shit about social media until now that he has to. So
it is what it is.
So
it's a necessary evil.
Yeah, absolutely. You can also follow me at Clifford Moore III on Facebook. I do have a Savagely Loud page on Facebook. Somehow it's connected halfway to my Savagely Loud Instagram, but most of my Savagely Loud Instagram is connected to Clifford Moore III on Facebook. So you can go through my stories. I oftentimes post on Facebook and then put them in the stories, and you can just get my name from there. Now, we like to close every single show on a positive note, because we spend so much of our time, so much of our day living and talking and accessing and acknowledging and embracing this harsher, darker side of reality, that sometimes we forget that there is a bright side of reality. We forget that there's this really great shit happening that we don't get to hear about. And we call that our Hopelessly Human segment. So that's the wrong ass button.
People can be really rough. They can be quite tough. They can get in the way, but at the end of the day, some aren't only stupid, some are hopelessly human.
What you got for us for our Hopelessly Human segment, Mikey?
First off, I gotta say that's a fucking banger.
It's cold as ice, ain't it?
All right, our first Hopelessly Human of the fucking show.
Of the forever.
I will share. Yeah. I will be sharing the article and the video on our Instagram page, on my Instagram page. But there was a man in Iowa who decorated his entire block. He did it himself for Christmas, all the way up and down the street.
Holy shit.
And yes, so this was him doing it. And he just kind of went to the neighbors like, hey, I'm going to decorate your lawn. And he did this for his wife. They've been married 53 years. They proposed, like he proposed to her on Christmas. Christmas has always been very special to her. 4 years ago, she was diagnosed with Alzheimer's.
Oh.
And it's getting to the point now to where she doesn't know how to brush her teeth. She's really losing reality, you know. So he did this to it for her. So, and he took her up and down the block, kind of walked her, and she just loved it. She smiled and everything the whole time. So he was like, hey, I'm doing this every year as long as I can.
That's
like,
fucking
even
awesome.
if she's gone, I'm still going to do it as long as I'm physically able to. And even the neighbors, like you just saw like the joy in theirs, like just the joy that they were able to bring to her. It's crazy. It's a very heartwarming, touching story. I got a little teary during the video.
Yeah, I'm choking him back now, you son of a bitch. You're making me cry on the first episode, you fuck.
It was just very touching, and it's very loving, and it's that, again, that human factor to it all. That it's not all shit. It doesn't have to be.
It is not all shit. I love that fucking segment. I can't wait to do that segment every single fucking show. Great job on that one. Guys, to close the show, let me remind you again that this was the first one. We're going to get smoother. We're going to get more into the groove here. It's going to get better. We're going to get the video up and running. We're just going to be bad motherfuckers soon enough. So, but we wanted to get going. We got to get some shit out there because we've got people to help, right? So on that fucking note, yeah, you got any last words for us, Mikey?
Hey, man. Keep tuning in. We're going to piss you off. We're going to make you laugh. We're going to make you cry. We're going to make you smile, make you laugh, whatever. We're going to hit it all.
We're literally the everything show. Like, I truly believe that we are the everything show. If you watch my stories, you'll see me fucking post videos of people hanging each other and shit because they fucked with somebody. I'm like, yeah. And then there's like bunnies. Yeah. Kittens. Yeah. More murder. Yeah. So we're the everything show. So
Yep.
Tune in, Savagely Loud. We will let you know when the podcast release schedule is actually confirmed. And until then, guys, just do fucking better. Later.
Yep.